Hi, everybody. So I'm excited to welcome you to the group. It's going to be just a fun 7 days. It's not going to be anything that's really detailed in terms of major health issues. It's going to be an overall presentation throughout the week as well as today on ways to start increasing your energy. So by all means, I don't want to downplay anybody who's really dealing with some illnesses or anything that's holding them back from experiencing energy. I understand it's a whole different ballgame, but this is for those of us who we're just a little tired, we're a little fatigued, but we feel like with some changes in our everyday routine, we can start to increase our energy, which when we increase our energy, we increase our focus, our mood, and our desire to experience life to the fullest. So that's really what I want to bring to the table with any client that I work with, whether it is somebody who's dealing with more serious digestive health issues or somebody who's just trying to lose some weight because they know that by dropping that extra 10, 15, 20 pounds, the world's going to open up, right? Their way to experience life is going to change. And so I've said this year brought a lot of changes for me, but it also opened up my eyes to the value of life and to do what we can do to experience it and not just to survive it. So today, I am going to present to you little things that we're going to go over the course of the next 7 days within the group forum. But yeah, so let me get to it. Glasses on. So here we go. I need to screen share, sorry. 1 second. Okay, so daily habits for endless energy. And again, that sounds like we all want to experience endless energy. I included, we struggle with how do we keep that sustainable energy? Some days we may feel great. Other days we may just be dragging, right? It can vary from day to day based on sleep, based on your meal consumption, and even based on hormones, you know, how they're fluctuating over time. Balancing blood sugar is probably key to everything in terms of weight loss, wellness, and energy. That's a big piece of what I do help people understand. And I do help them understand how to create meals to balance that weight loss or energy. But today, we're just going to dive into it. So this is me. I am really, really excited that you guys decided to join the group. I hope that you walk away after 7 days with a few little changes that you start to realize. Like, I'm a firm believer. If you have not been following me on Instagram or Facebook, make sure you do. But I have been reading the book, The Slight Edge. Amazing book, one that I highly recommend. And ultimately, it's about every decision we make does have a huge impact on whether we're moving toward a goal or away from a goal. So that's really what I want to bring to the table this week, is just little things that you can start doing that over time has massive effect on your energy, your mood, and your focus. And so that's really, I just want to shed some light. Okay. So a lot of people tend to wake up rushed. You know, sorry, we have these schedules and we set our alarms in just enough time to get up, go, and get out the door. I've talked a lot with my own clients about if they are struggling with adrenal issues, which is energy issues, exhaustion, burnout, but they are that candidate that wakes up, takes a shower, grabs a cup of coffee, and goes. You are only amping up your cortisol issues and therefore pushing your body into more extreme state of burnout. We want to avoid that at all costs. I would honestly say people who reach out to me are dealing with digestive issues, which result in a stressed out body. So because your stress response will increase, and also they are exhausted. You know, the number of women that I come into contact with each and every day who are always telling me, I'm just so exhausted. I'm so tired. I barely have energy. Well, how you start your day is going to, again, either move you further away from exhaustion or dig your exhaustion even more into the hole. So have you ever noticed that hurried mornings lead to some of your worst days? Those are the days that you slept through the alarm clock, your kids are not getting up, you're just trying to organize everything, everyone's yelling, somebody's banging on the door of the bathroom because they have to get in. I remember those days growing up, and then it just leaves you frazzled, right? You just feel frazzled. How does that affect your mood going into the rest of your day? Do you feel inspired and motivated, or are you already aggravated, annoyed, and stressed out, right? And you haven't even started your day. So what we want to do is we want to start establishing some morning routines, morning rituals that can help you shift you out of that annoyed, irritable, and negative mindset, to be quite honest, into a more positive, open, receptive, good energy. So that's going to be little things we talk about. Okay, so like I just said, in order to set yourself up for having a great day, you must start with a great morning. People think I'm crazy when I wake up as early as I will. If I, ordinarily speaking, I have mornings to myself. I have scheduled my work day. It's been a lifestyle of mine, even when I was coaching gymnastics. I prefer no earlier on average than 12 o'clock, and I would rather work into the evening because my morning cannot be rushed. I like to do certain things to be calm, to not be rushed, and various things that I touch on that I'm going to encourage you all to do, because I have found that works for me. I feel off. But when I do have to be to work in the morning or earlier, I will still wake up way ahead of time than what most people would think is necessary so that I can do these steps that I'm going to share with you all. It affects, again, it truly affects my mindset. So establishing that morning routine is essential. But how do you keep these positive starts coming when your days are chaotic? The slightest thing can lead to a poor start, which means you need to stay on top of your morning routine. So now I'm going to show you some tips. It's like non-negotiable to me. You can't ruin my morning routine. Okay, so set the alarm 15 minutes earlier. Sometimes we need to play around with what is the best time to wake up. So when I had a schedule going on where I had it originally set for 6:30, and I realized like I couldn't get what I needed done in that window of time. I pretty much give myself like a 2-hour window to do things that I enjoy in the morning and to feel settled and take my time. But when I was waking up at 6:30 versus 6:15, it just gave me that little bit of a rush. So honestly, just set your alarm 15 minutes earlier. It really can make a difference in that you're not feeling that rush to get out the door. One of the reasons why many of us fall victim to messy and muddled mornings is because we don't leave ourselves enough time to get things done. So again, you give yourself that little window of 15 minutes. And one thing as a health coach, I emphasize a lot, which we're going to touch here, is like eating breakfast. Do you know the number of people that don't eat breakfast? And I cannot stress it enough, you guys, that will wreak havoc on your hormones. It will. We're reading everything about intermittent fasting. The body needs time to fully detoxify, right? But people are going so extreme with detoxificate, like with intermittent fasting, that be cautious, because eventually it wears on your adrenals and your thyroid. And so again, I think this is a huge reason why people are coming to me stressed out, exhausted, depleted, and showing major signs of burnout, because they're not eating breakfast. But why do we not eat breakfast? Because we wake up too late, things get in the way, we have to get out the door because we can't be late for work, right? Fortunately, now a lot of people are working from home. So that the fact that you have to get in the car and get to work has actually been removed. So that's probably something that can help you alleviate the stress in the morning when you use it wisely. But most of us don't. It's easy to say that you're going to wake up early in the morning and finish a few tasks, but once the morning rolls around and the alarm goes off, we often find ourselves reaching for that snooze button, right? Because we went to bed too late, and we're going to touch on that. It can be difficult to change this habit, but think about how much quality sleep you're actually getting when you hit the snooze. That is the reality. The fact that like the alarm goes off and then you hit snooze, if you do begin to fall into a deep sleep, that's almost worse than just getting up and letting your body slowly waken up, rather than starting to fall asleep and it waking up in a shock motion again. That can actually be worse. So in the morning, 10 or 15 minutes can make or break that morning routine. Make it a goal to wake up as soon as the alarm goes off and set your day right. Here are some of my personal morning habits. Deep breathing for 5 minutes. I already explained how I love to use my essential oil. If you can try one thing this week, this is what I recommended to a client this week. One thing, put a little essential oil in the palm of your hands and do 6 rounds of inhaling for 6, holding for 6, exhaling for 6. If you can try one thing, I would encourage that. Writing a gratitude list, keep it simple, just do 3 to 5 things. I was encouraged to write even, I am grateful that, in terms of, hold on, somebody's coming in. Okay, so make sure you mute Barbara.
We should remove the carpet. We could have wood paneling around the fireplace and a bench for extra seating.
Are you on right now? Okay. And so to get back to that, so make it a goal to wake up as soon as the alarm goes off and set your day right. Here are my, so as I was saying about deep breathing, that's what I was encouraging somebody to just throw that one thing in this week, because doing all these all at one time is actually it can be overwhelming. But there is a journal, and I wish I brought that over here. My journal that I purchased it at Barnes & Noble. I'm going to actually go on Amazon and purchase the same version, just another one. So after I do 5 minutes of deep breathing, I usually personally will do a little bit of meditation, but my form of meditation is visualization, and just, again, oftentimes it's gratitude. Then I come out and I'll go into my journal. I love my journal right now because each week you pick an affirmation. So you'll see here saying 10 affirmations. They already have it figured out, listed in the journal, in which you're supposed to do it. Write down your affirmation 3 times in the morning, 6 times midday, and 9 times at night, because that has been shown to be even more effective. And they provide you with affirmations based on relationship, career, health. I like it. I like this journal. And I was in my programs, I add in a form of a journal. And so I'll probably throw that particular journal in with a client who I kind of know would enjoy that, because not everybody's going to want to spend time doing all of that, but I love it. And then after you do your affirmations, it says, what's your intention for the day? You write, how do you want to feel? Like, what's your intending feeling for the day? You write that in. And then it says, how do you want to feel today? You write that. And then then you basically journal. And I've been encouraged that when I journal, you script your day. And I found this to be super, super helpful. So instead of saying, I'm grateful for, this or that, it's like you're writing as if your day already occurred. Because again, that's going to have an impact on how we go about our day. So it's called scripting, and I've loved that. And again, this can all be done in like literally 10 to 15 minutes. And it absolutely affects the mindset. So I didn't write in here. This is stretch your simple at home yoga poses. I didn't write after I do all of the visualization, breathing and whatnot, personal development. I cannot tell you, just pop out a personal development book and read about 10 pages a day. It will transform your mindset, and it will have a huge impact on your nervous system. I would encourage everybody. The first one that I ever read was The Miracle Morning. I was part of a reading group, and somebody introduced that to me, and that changed my entire morning. So honestly, that'd be a great one to start with, The Miracle Morning. But The Slight Edge, I think every person should read that particular book. So that's the morning routine. So after you do that, make time for morning exercise. It doesn't have to be a full-on hard workout. I have time in the morning. I will always make time because it became a habit. It just became who I am. So again, when I had to be at work at 7:45 in the morning, I was waking up at 4 a.m. to do all of this stuff, because if I didn't do it in the morning, I wasn't going to do it at night, and I wasn't going to be in the right frame of mind. So making time for morning exercise for me is crucial. You can do it. A lot of people, I don't have time, I can't do it. But maybe for you, it's not doing a full-on workout. Maybe it's just getting in a morning walk. It's getting some form of movement. So we're going to exercise is just a great way to start your day. It really does release the dopamine, the serotonin, those things that can impact just your overall state of well-being. It may not be how you want to start your day, but once you get used to it, there's no going back. Do I want to wake up and go run every day? No. Do I really want to go on to just say the elliptical and do the weights? No. It's a lot easier for me to sit there and relax a little bit more, but I know how it makes me feel. And so when we tie a feeling and an emotion to an action, we're more likely to stick with it, right? So it's easy to do. This is what in The Slight Edge, Jeff Olson, he writes, it's easy. What's simple and easy to do is just as simple and easy not to do. So there are many mornings where I'm just sitting there and like, I don't feel like doing it. But then I also know that when I get it done, I feel very accomplished. And so it's like right away, I feel like, okay, good, accomplished, one thing to check off. Affects your mindset, right? And it affects your mindset towards everything that you do in life. Who really feels like putting in hard extra work in order to achieve a different goal in life? I mean, nobody really wants to just constantly have to put in the daily disciplines. But if you can commit to something such as exercise in any shape or form each and every day, that's kind of how you're going to show up in life. And that's truly what I believe, because exercise puts you in a state of discomfort. And anytime you're faced with any form of discomfort, you know how to overcome it, and you know how to get through it and to finish what you start. So that's truly why I personally believe exercise, beyond just the health benefits, it's a mindset thing. And I've talked about this. I have had some former gymnasts who have recently, as adults, and you guys, I see the difference in them. I see the difference in how they've tackled their careers, their lives, and those kind of things, because as a child, they were required to have daily disciplines, whether they liked it or not. But look at how it impacted their lives now. And it all started with like exercise, you know, like they had to show up every day for training, and they were required to do things that they weren't in the mood to do at that time. But it's transformed into their adult years, very successful women. And so I think exercise is just beyond just the physical benefits. I think it's mindset. It's a huge part of mindset. So if you can start your day incorporating even 15 minutes of exercise into your morning routine, it will do wonders for your stress levels and your productivity. So again, how many people come to me saying, I'm so stressed and I'm so tired? Well, when you incorporate exercise, you're getting that blood flow. You're getting the oxygenated blood going all through your system. You're detoxing through sweat. If you break a sweat, you're detoxing some of that toxic overload. That's all going to help your hormones, and it's going to balance you out for the rest of the day. So then come evening, you're more likely to be able to go to sleep, so that you do wake up feeling better and more motivated to exercise. So when you start the morning with exercise, you'll be able to wake up easier because you're not headed straight to the shower. Instead, you're spending time alone with a loved one or immersed in nature, which are some of the best ways to start your day. I like to exercise alone. Again, it's more of my mindset. It gives me space to find clarity in confusion. Is kind of how I look at it. Other ways, if you can't get up and have that workout that we consider a workout, if you live in a city, maybe you could walk to work, or if you live in walking distance to work, maybe you can walk to work. Maybe you get to work early, and we're going to touch on that. And you do a little bit of walk around the building. That's a good way for people who are like, I just can't do it. I have to. Chris, my husband, he always at lunch will get out and do, I think he told me sometimes it's a 2-mile walk, and his coworkers think he's crazy. But at the same time, that's his way of putting movement in the middle of the day. Since my career has changed and I have a little bit more sedentary in moments, I get crazy. And so I've incorporated walks into my personal day. So that gets movement. So movement in general is always going to keep your body healthier. And so figure out, where can you do that? How can you get up and get a full workout in the morning? Or do you have to get a little bit more creative and fit in maybe 15 minutes before you go to work? Get to work early, get 15 minutes in. At lunch, instead of sitting down, eating lunch and doing more work, take that time. You know, if you have to have that hour, depending on where you work. And some places give you the hour, some places might break it into 30-30. Maybe eat for one of the 30s, walk for one of the 30s. It just depends, right? If you're fortunate to have a job in which you're on your feet and you don't get breaks, I had that life. At the same time, you're on your feet and you're moving. And so it's just like, just make sure you're fortunate, I feel. And then at that point, focus on your food, right? Because there are a lot of jobs where people are fortunate to be moving throughout the day. But if they're eating takeout, all that kind of stuff, well, it's going against them. So they're I can't think of the word, but they're going against the benefit of the movement. So you have to look at your schedule and your daily life and think, okay, where am I at in terms of movement, my eating habits, and my stress management habits, self-care. And you have to kind of get creative with how to make all those things work in your day. You can do it. That's what I tell you, can do it. It's just a matter of putting it on paper, because what we pencil into our day, we stick to. I mean, just 9 times out of 10. Another way to start your morning, and this is something I've done this in the past, but I honestly, I don't practice it regularly. Boost your immune system with a cold shower called contrast showering. The shower is a great place to clean, sing your favorite tunes, and refresh your spirits. A shower for most people, myself included, can be rushed, right? In and out, because I won't sacrifice my earlier morning routine, but I will sacrifice the time it takes for me to do the shower, makeup, those things. But as you see here, don't leave yourself nanoseconds to shower. This is a great time to relax, take in the scents from your soaps, and spend time collecting your thoughts. It's amazing how a simple shower can reset your attitude from the time you get out of bed. The bottom line is that you should never cut minutes off your shower. Instead, enjoy every minute of scrub time. And again, not everybody's perfect in every area, but that really, when I was reading through this in preparing for this, in notes that I had, I was like, I really could do better myself with this piece of the morning routine. But there are some benefits to cold shower. This is something that I've been talking to a few clients about, is contrast shower, because it really can affect your immune system and your stress response. So basically, when you do this, you switch your water temperature to the chilly side. It doesn't have to be frigid. But if you watch people who are now doing all these cold plunges because it's supposed to help your thyroid, it's becoming more and more popular to do certain cold plunges at wellness centers. And this is kind of like an easier version of that. Studies show that cold showers boost your immunity, improve blood circulation, regulate body temperature, enhance lymphatic movements, and deepen breathing. A cold shower also has an effect on the mood by alleviating depression and increasing energy and well-being. You can also enjoy healthier looking skin and hair thanks to the detoxification that comes from the cold temperatures. And so when you practice this, you're giving your lymphatic system the amazing gift and release toxins that can lead to weight gain, hormonal imbalances, headaches, skin rashes, digestive woes, aging, and weak immune system. So with my personal programs, what I do with clients, I focus a lot on either your gut or your liver health. But at the end of the day, it's really like removing toxicities and correcting deficiencies to eliminate all of these symptoms, right? These are just symptoms of an imbalanced body. And so contrast showering allows you to do a little bit more detoxification. So detoxification practices are a huge part of my Gut Thrive in 5 program, but they also are a part of my De-Stress Your Body Back to Balance. So again, those two programs are similar, but starting out with different avenues, but it's all about this detoxification. We are living in bodies that are just full of toxins right now. The burden on your body of toxic overload is just your body's overwhelmed. And so we have to get some of that stuff out, right? In order to experience weight loss, hormonal balancing, clear thinking, clear skin, optimal digestion, optimal aging, therefore enjoying longevity, and a stronger immune system. When you balance the body of all this, guess what? You get to enjoy your life. That's really what it comes down to. Is, I say this all the time, we're not living longer, we're dying longer. And it's very concerning, and it's moving down into younger generations at a much faster rate. But really what we can start teaching the younger generations through modeling is we need to take care of ourselves. And I said this yesterday in something that I was approached with, is when we take care of ourselves, we become that, we give the younger generation the best gift. We show them that we do matter and that our health does matter, and that putting the things that make us feel healthier and happier in front of their eyes is the best gift you can give them, because now they have self-respect as they get older. They have self-respect, they have self-care, and they're more likely to go after things that make their life more purposeful. you know? And I think that's the best thing we can model. But I will say this, I am seeing this in the 20-something-year-olds and 30-something-year-olds. They are actually more willing to invest in their health and doing what it takes to be healthier than I feel people in their 40s, 50s and up. Because we've been raised prior to that, like, you don't do those things. You have to take, you gotta get this, you have to get that, you have to get this. But we've been raised to a certain extent to appear to be the martyr. We sacrifice our own health, our own dreams, our own this, our own that, because it's better to give it to somebody else. We give it to somebody else, but now we take away from everything that makes us healthy. And I think they're smarter than that now. I think they're seeing like, well, no, I don't want to live that. Certain people have lived miserably. So therefore, they're putting more into themselves as a way to get themselves optimal. And therefore, they realize when you do that, you're going to be giving back to life so much more too. It's not selfish. It's the fact that, like, when you feel healthy and well, mentally, physically, emotionally, you're going to be able to give so much more to life. And that means serving, you know, and I think that's why we're here. We're here to serve and impact. It's not going to be every person in the world, but it's going to be somebody, right? So to get back to that, when we practice detoxification practices, contrast showering is an example of one, which is going to help rebalance the body. And you can do that right from home. So all of these things you can do right from the comfort of your home. So contrast showering is easy to do and requires no extra purchases. As I just said, something that's simple to do, yet simple not to do. And that's how I want people to look at anything that they do in life. Is it getting you closer to your goal or further away from your goal? Simple to do, simple not to do. In the shower, alternate between hot and cold water to support the lymphatic drainage. The hot water brings blood flow to the skin surface, while the cold water brings blood flow inward to the organs. This is beneficial for detox and circulation. So hot water brings it to the skin surface. Cold water brings it internally. Again, I've heard that can help the thyroid. So I recommend 3 minutes of hot water, 1 minute of cold, 3 minutes of hot, 1 minute of cold, and you can do this for up to 15 minutes, but always finish with cold water. If it's too much to alternate, try easing the water temperature down as you are finishing your shower, and then do one go of about 30 seconds under cold water before getting out and toweling off. I did this several years ago because I also heard it's good for your hair. It makes your hair shinier. So again, it's so stupid. We do things that make our hair look better or our skin look better, but we don't always apply things that make us healthier. And that's where, like, we have to shift that goal and that purpose, because ultimately this can do your body well. But if you tell somebody it's going to make your hair grow faster or it's going to make your hair look shinier, they will do it like that, you know. But if you tell them it's going to improve your metabolism, they're so much less likely to do it. Or it's going to help your thyroid you know, people are less likely to do that, which is crazy, because that is truly what affects our hair, our nails, and everything else in between. But we tend to not think that way. Eat a healthy breakfast. I touched on this earlier. I can't emphasize this enough. It will impact your hormones. So when your hormones are out of whack, you're likely to have weight issues. And that's the number one thing people complain about. Well, the number one is sleep. But imbalanced hormones will affect your sleep, which ultimately will affect your energy. And so when people are talking about energy and struggling with energy, you're starting your day off depleted already. And again, like I said, if you're that classic wake up, rush out the house, have your cup of coffee, now you've spiked your cortisol, you've spiked your blood sugar, you've spiked your insulin, now you're guaranteeing a crash. And so that crash, what is that? Exhaustion, you know, and people tend to do that throughout the day. And so they're just constantly replacing food with coffee until, I don't know, later in the day. and then they go too heavy on the food later in the day. And so now we're just seeing a blood sugar dysregulation. And again, as I said at the beginning, stabilizing blood sugar is key to wellness. It truly is. It's your weight, it's your hormone balance, and it's your stress response. So starting with the healthy breakfast is huge. Studies show that men and women who eat breakfast tend to weigh less, are healthier, and have higher energy levels. Because this was really a cool feedback from my current Gut Thrive client. She's only in step 1, but she was like, I actually wake up now hungry. And I was like, okay, this is great. Because when you wake up not hungry, it's a sign of a broken metabolism. And when I say broken metabolism, it's usually a sign of a thyroid issue due to 95% of the time gut issues and adrenal issues. So a slow oxidizer just means your food is not moving through your digestive tract. It's moving slow. And she was like, yeah, I don't have that lump feeling anymore in my stomach from the day before. So now when I wake up, I'm hungry, I'm ready to eat. And I was like, perfect. What we're doing is working. We're getting your digestive system moving. And there's certain supplements you use on the Gut Thrive to help them early on. But that's a sign of a broken metabolism. If you wake up and you're not hungry, either a broken metabolism or you're eating way too much too late at night. It's one or the other. But for some people, when they're like, well, I'm not eating past this time, but I'm not hungry when I wake up, you would need to look into your thyroid. But ultimately, you'd want to correct your thyroid by correcting your digestive health and your stress response first. And then you'll notice, possibly that things are moving, right? And you want to lower your stress response in order to get what's called the peristaltic waves that move food through your system moving. And I won't go through that, but that's a sign of a healthier metabolism already. Breakfast is a good thing, and you should never skip it, even if it means catching your morning bites in the car. The goal, however, is to choose the right breakfast foods. Things like slices of pie, donuts, and sugary muffins and cereals should be absolutely eliminated. You want protein. You want protein in the morning. You want your carbs, your healthy fat, and your protein. But getting about 20 to 30 grams of protein first thing in the morning can have a tremendous effect on your blood sugar, and therefore, like we talked about, your weight, your focus, your mood, your energy. So aim for protein, as protein will fill you up so you don't feel hungry, and start snacking before lunch. And that was something that I discussed with her, because she was so used to eating like about 8 o'clock, and then about 10 o'clock having like a little Larabar, and then she would eat lunch, and then about 1 o'clock she'd have a little, and it was like, okay, we need to look at your breakfast. What are you eating? Because your breakfast should take you all the way to lunch, unless you're really in adrenal dysfunction. It should. So we had to look at how she was making the breakfast, what was her meal composed of. So here are some really good options: smoothies, protein oatmeal, eggs, avocado toast, a bean burrito, chia pudding, and smoothie bowl. So a lot of these, very easy to make. They honestly are. They don't take a lot of time. And then start experimenting with new schedules. So we already talked about establishing a morning routine. So having some time to just be. Getting in some exercise, just get some form of movement. Find a way to get your body moving. And honestly, in nature is the best way if you can. It just hearing the birds, the trees, and all that, it really calms your nervous system and helps put you into a state of calm and rest and digest, but calm. Then we talked about cold showering, contrast showering. That helps with detoxification, amping up oxygen blood through your blood, just circulation, detoxification, all those good things. And then we talked about breakfast. But now start experimenting with new schedules. If you find that something with your morning just isn't working, experiment with a new schedule. If you can't get out of bed in the mornings because you have trouble falling asleep at night, you may have to exercise later in the day. Keep a journal to write it at night to clear your head, or turn off all electronics 1 hour before sleep. Something that was recommended to me is in the book, the slight edge, is at night, instead of writing down, a to-do list, at the end of the day, write down what you got done list, so that you're kind of celebrating things that you got done. And so when you take that time to write those things down at night, it's also preparing you in a different kind of way, that it's the end of the day, and that might help you sleep. But big thing is turn off all electronics. That's the hardest thing for me, even included. I find that I scroll through Instagram looking at ridiculous things. But that can really change the wiring of your brain and your nervous system. And also it affects your natural production of melatonin. Light in general has affected our natural production of melatonin, because when we have artificial light, it's just the signals are getting messed up, versus back in the day when there was never light, right? And so when the sun went down, the body just naturally knew it was time to rest and to go to sleep. But now we have artificial light, then we've added in blue light, and that's just changed a lot of our wiring. So really try to find an evening routine and stick with it. So night before preparations for smooth mornings. Much of the reason why we have a good morning is because we have a good night. Create a night ritual. Also, turn off the TV at least 1 hour before you want to fall asleep. Here is my night ritual. I tend to skim brush for about 10 minutes in the morning. Sometimes I do it at night. Honestly, if I feel like puffy and I feel like water retention, I will dry brush, skim brush, because again, it's getting that lymphatic movement rather than stagnant. Epsom salt bath at least 3 times a week can be super beneficial, not just because of the experience of the bath, but because Epsom salt has magnesium. So the magnesium is going to go in through your skin into your muscles. And again, magnesium is calming for the nervous system. As I just said, journal for about 10 minutes, but journaling can be different from morning journaling. Morning journaling can be gratitude. Evening can be, what did I get done? How did I feel accomplished? Because that puts you into a state of mind of feeling good, and you're more likely to be productive, because if you know each day you're going to write what I got done, then you're probably going to get it done. So it's kind of how it operates when it's holding you accountable in a different kind of way. Essential oils for relaxation. I love them. You guys know how I feel about that. Magnesium oil, which you can get at Sprouts, Whole Foods. That is a big part of the Gut Thriving 5 protocol for many people, because many people struggle with constipation. And magnesium oil can be even better when it goes directly through your skin. And that's been recommended for those who are struggling with constipation. So Ancient Minerals is one of my favorite brands, but again, there are a couple different brands. I think Life Source is a brand that was at Sprouts. And you can just put it on your feet. You can actually put magnesium oil and lavender essential oil on the soles of your feet before you go to bed. And that can help you just calm the nervous system. Again, there's different forms of magnesium. Magnesium biglycinate is the form that you would want to take for muscle relaxation, calming before bed. I often recommend to everybody a full complex, magnesium complex, because you want all varieties, because different forms help with different things. Magnesium citrate helps with constipation, digestive health. Magnesium malate version is energy. So I often recommend a full spectrum. Skin brushing, I'm not going to go too much into this. Great little thing. Just there's no way to go wrong. The only thing to remember is brush towards the heart. It's just like massage therapy. You just small little circular motions, start on your shins, move up to your quad, then maybe do a couple in like 7 rounds, and then do a full leg. And then again, start with your wrist, go to your forearm, then go and then inward. It just all varies. Great little option, helps with detoxification. Avoid stress triggers before bed. Finally, and most importantly, avoid triggers of stress before bed and in the morning. So again, that just comes down, you guys, to being organized. You know, it's just once you get into that routine and you know how long it's going to take you to wake up, do a little bit of deep breathing, a little bit of gratitude journaling, 10, 15 minutes, honestly, 10 to 15 minutes, that's all you need. So when I discuss, like, just set your alarm 10 to 15 minutes earlier. And when you know that that's what you're going to do in the morning, and then you know you're going to have breakfast, you're getting organized, and it just becomes a part of what you do. Is it going to feel comfortable and natural the first week, the first 2 weeks? No, but I would say within a month, you're going to be adjusting, and it just becomes part of your day. And that is honestly what is key, is preparation. So prepare for it, schedule it in, stick to it. Easy to do, easy not to do. But those who do it are often found to be those who continue to move forward in so many different areas in life. So I can't stress enough creating a morning routine, and I need to work on the evening routine. I'm not good with that. I'm very much get home from work, scroll Instagram, and go to sleep. And I need to work on the sleep routine personally, but that's also something I would encourage you all, is get a morning routine and get an evening routine. So then you're avoiding stressors. You're avoiding the rush, the anxiety, the conflicts with other people in the home in the morning. You're just getting into a state of calm first thing in the day, and then at the end of the day. But consider other sources of stress and determine ways you can avoid them. So putting aside just the stress that you feel if you wake up late, kids are not organized, you're rushing out the door. Well, now you have traffic, right? Traffic may stress people out. I have always been one that I leave too much in advance to get to work because I don't like to feel rushed ever. So I would encourage, start thinking about how can you leave for work, that if you get to work early, well, now you do your walk, right? Now you do your movement. And that can be a morning routine that you work with. So instead of giving yourself the exact amount of time to get to work right on time, what if there is a traffic jam, right? But if you're in a routine where you always get to work 20 minutes early, well, if there's traffic jam, you're probably still going to be okay. You just might miss your walk that morning. It's kind of, again, you see how you can create a schedule to allow these habits. And a great morning is just the ticket to a great day. It will make or break your day. Feel rushed, probably going to have a bad attitude, stressed out, take it out on other people. Now you're where does that go? You feel less rush, you're reading positive stuff, you're thinking positive stuff, you're eating positive things. There's no other option but for those things to have a positive effect on you, right? That's how you want to look at what you put into your body, your mind, and your associations, to be honest. But those habits ultimately will lead you to a positive outcome. Or if you continue doing the negative habits, right, it's going to lead you, it's not really a question. It's known. It's going to lead you to, when you have a rush morning, you don't eat, your blood sugar is low, your attitude's low, then now you're going to reach for the junk food because you just need the energy. And it makes you feel good for about 5 minutes, right? Because it increases that. Now you're going to crash again. So it's just like, find what's going to create the positive cycle and not the negative cycle. And it takes time, and it takes a lot of effort. There's no question, but it's possible. And so that's a wrap with the presentation. I appreciate taking time. Let me know if you're not watching this live, because right now it's just one person. Totally fine. I threw this together at the last minute. So I assumed it was not going to have a lot of people live, but let me know and just comment replay when I post it in the forum. And don't forget, guys, the whole group starts Monday. I've already sent out the recipe guide, the suggested meal plan, and the food journal. The food journal, when I journal with clients, it's not meant to count calories and for weight loss. It's more to see how your food is affecting your focus, your mood, and your energy, very much like we just talked about with these habits. These things, if you apply them, are going to improve your mood, your focus, and your energy. The food that you put into your body should affect your mood, your focus, and your energy positively. But what you want to start recognizing, does it do it negatively? So I provided you with a journal that you can use on the computer. I personally like to write with my hand. I like to have an actual journal that I write in, but for you, I provided something that you can just type in, and then go back at the end of the week and kind of see where you were. Because what we measure and track, we can usually see what's working, right? But it's not meant to track calories or anything like that. It's meant to track how is it affecting your health and your well-being. So those materials have already gone out. I'm going to post those also in the forum. So make sure you're in the Facebook group forum, because yeah, I will put those in there so that you can just download those. So you're going to be receiving the recipe guide, the suggested meal plan, the food diary, and the meal planner. So with the meal planner, you can go through and you can look at the recipe guide and the suggested meals. You don't have to make all of those. You can figure out, okay, I'm going to make just 3 of these this week. And you make a meal large enough, you double maybe the meal so it can get you through 2 different days, but use your menu planner and write down what you're going to have on those days. Oftentimes I eat the same stuff for 5 days. Then on the weekends is when I switch it up, but it's just easier for me. I tend to have like the same lunch, the same dinner for the most part, same breakfast, and it just makes it easier, to be honest. But some people like to switch it up. So the suggested meal plan will allow you to do that, but it's giving you a blueprint map of what equals a healthier meal. It's not anti-inflammatory meals. It's not, this is just everyday life. So you will see dairy is in some of the things. You can eliminate it. For the most, it's all gluten-free. But again, it's everyday life. And so because I'm thinking about, this is kind of my little experiment with how a membership plan would go. And that each week you would receive materials and then you can go through and figure out what meals you're going to make. But you don't have to think about, but what should I eat? Because I get that asked a lot, but tell me what I should eat. And you know, those, I'm kind of helping you in this area. So yeah, all that's gone out. And then starting Monday, there will be a new post each day of the week with a tip on what you can start doing to increase your energy. And again, it's not anything like, whoa, it's the simple everyday things when done consistently that have massive transformation over time. But never assume that everybody understands those little things. So that's what I'm going to do this coming week, is to just provide you with a couple more little tips to help you get on your way. But that's pretty much what it's about. If you are interested, you can head over to my website where you can schedule a free 20 to 30 minute discovery call is what I call it, and see if there's any way that I can help you if you are ready to move forward and to really start working on a health issue or a health goal. But yeah, head over and we can schedule that call and get you on the way. But thanks, guys. That is the end. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. This will be posted into the Facebook forum. Again, reply with replay if you watched the replay live, if you did the live, and any questions you may have based on what I presented, or anything, to be quite honest. But yeah, that will be it. So I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions, reach out. Barbara, do you have any questions before I I end the call?
Just make it shareable so I can share out there. It was very good. Thank you.
Okay. I'll have to put it on
Bye.
regular Facebook. I can't share my Facebook group. Can't do that on Facebook, but I'll put it in the regular.
Okay, whatever. Just let me know.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Ooh.